Story number 1. My boyfriend 36 male came to see me in a play and left without a goodbye. I 38 female was pretty anxious, and when he got there he was very standoffish toward me because I was talking to a guy who was in the play with me. I stood up and hugged him and said hi, and after that we went in for the play. After it was over, I went outside and saw him and said, "I'm going to go say bye to everyone." And he said, "Oh, go say bye to your boyfriend," which I wrote off as a silly, minorly jealous comment, but not serious. When I came back out to walk out with him, he was gone. I texted him, "Did you leave?" And he said, "Yep." So I left too, sad because I was hoping to feel good about myself tonight, but I just ended up feeling bad. I texted him once I got home, asked him if he was mad or something, and he said no. So I said I thought maybe I was having a hard time reading him tonight, and he said yep. And then he sent me a TikTok which I hard reacted to but didn't say anything back because at this point I'm disturbed because I can't believe he's acting this way. Then I got in bed to just get the day over with, and he shows up at my house unannounced, like, "Come outside," and I'm like, my feelings are so mixed up. He wants me to just move on from my experience tonight, as if it's nothing, and move on from his dismissive behavior. I told him I don't know what I was expecting, but I felt let down about his response to the show tonight. And it made him so mad I mentioned it that he left. I said please come back as he was walking away, but he didn't. Texted him how I felt after he left, and his response is grow up. He's acting like he was fully supportive and am just ruining it with my emotions, and I feel so sad, and which is the reason I shared this story to ask, what the hell does this mean? Do you think he knows what he's doing to me, or do you think he's just emotionally immature? Is it gaslighting to act like there's nothing wrong with leaving without saying goodbye or acknowledging my performance? He basically said nice and disappeared. I know it's not the biggest deal, but I'm so heartbroken. I really wanted to feel good about this tonight. I really put myself out there and felt so vulnerable. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Story number 2. Am I the asshole for not tipping after overhearing what my waitress said about me? I 30 female was at a restaurant last night with my mother. She was meeting my boyfriend's mom for the first time. We're punctual people, so we got there about 30 minutes before our reservation. We got seated with no issues. It took the waitress 20 minutes to get to our table even though the restaurant was pretty empty. Right away I could tell that she didn't want to wait on us. She didn't greet us with a hello. She just asked what we wanted to drink. We told her, and I noticed that she didn't write our order down. It took another 15 minutes for our drinks to get to our table, and they were wrong. It's hard to mess up a ginger ale and a vodka soda, but she did. My mom pointed out that she didn't order a Pepsi, and the waitress rolled her eyes, took my mother's glass, and disappeared. I excused myself to use the washroom shortly after. I had no idea where I was going, so I went to the entrance to ask one of the hostesses there. While I was walking up to the server area, I overheard my waitress talking to some other hostesses. She was pissed that she had to wait on a black table because they never tip well. My mother and I were the only black people in the restaurant. She wasn't even whispering when she said it either. I wasn't stunned, but her lack of effort started to make sense. I interrupted their conversation, and I asked where the bathroom was. I didn't let on that I had heard what they were talking about. When I got out of the bathroom, my boyfriend and his mom were already seated. My boyfriend and his mother are white. When my waitress saw the rest of our party, she did a 180. Her service was stellar. She took notes, told jokes, and our water glasses were always filled. She didn't make another mistake. Because the night went so well, I decided to treat everyone and pay the check. She gave me the machine, and I smiled at her while I keyed in 0% for a tip. She didn't notice until after the receipt had been printed out. By that time, all of us had already started to leave. She tapped me on the shoulder and asked if I had made a mistake on the bill. I told her I didn't think so and looked at the receipt. She asked if there was a problem with her service, and I said her service was fantastic, but since I was a black woman, I don't tip well. Her face went white, and she kind of laughed nervously, and I laughed as well. I walked out after that, but my boyfriend's mom asked what had happened. I told her what I had overheard, and my boyfriend's mom said that I should have tipped her anyway because it shows character. She seemed pretty pissed at me after that. My boyfriend and my mom are both on my side, but I'm wondering if I should have just thrown in a $2 tip. Let me hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Story number 3. Am I the asshole for telling my sister's kids the real reason she got divorced? My sister, Lisa, 36 female, just divorced her husband, Tom, 38 male. It wasn't a really messy affair, although there was some mudslinging on both sides. She's been running around telling everybody he had an affair, but the truth of the matter is that she's been having affairs for years. He finally found out and decided to end things. Only a few family members know this, and we've all kept quiet to protect her. Lisa and Tom have 2 children, Jake, 15 male, and Emma, 12 female. They have not been handling the divorce well and have acted out quite a bit. Lisa has been portraying herself as the victim, and because of this, the children resent Tom. They won't even want to see him, and when they do, they are openly hostile during the very limited time they have together. Last weekend, I had Jake and Emma over when they first began to vent about their dad. I tried to be objective with them, but they just kept hammering. Jake said, Mom told us Dad cheated on her and that is why they split up. I hate him for breaking up our family. Exasperated, I blurted, Your dad isn't the cheater. It is your mom who has been deceiving you. Well, they were obviously in shock and wanted more, and I told them everything. When Lisa found out, she was furious. She said I had betrayed her and put her children in an even worse position than they were in before. My mom said I did the right thing. My dad thinks I should have kept quiet. Tom is glad it's all out in the open, though he, too, thinks it should have been Lisa who had to tell the truth. Now, Jake and Emma are both bewildered and upset at both of us. They're not talking to Lisa, and that's been very painful for her. She says I've destroyed her relationship with her kids, that I'll never know what it's like to want to protect your kids from a painful truth. So, am I the asshole for telling my sister's kids the real reason that she got divorced? Let me hear your perspective on this and how you would handle this experience differently down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like for more stories like this.